Good morning, everybody. It's been a hot minute since I've been on here. I just wanted to take a minute this morning to let you see what I'm doing. I'm in the garden. I'm digging up some potatoes. I needed to get them out last week and get the bed replanted, but that didn't happen. Too much other stuff going on. So I came out yesterday. I started to dig up some of our potatoes, and our patch didn't do great this year. We planted something like 130 potato seeds. To that extent, I did not go buy potato seeds. I planted some old potatoes that we had that we kind of forgot about last year. They were in a box, so they all rooted, which was fantastic. Those are the ones that planted. They were the red ones. I took a bag of brown potatoes, russets, that I had gotten from the grocery store that were just on their way out, but they hadn't fully sprouted. I planted those. Those are not doing great. Actually, some of those plants are just now starting to come up and flower. I'm going to let those go, but for the most part, I'm digging up the rest of the bed. I'm doing it by hand. It's not hot today, but it's not a fantastic day either. I am filthy dirty. My tool of choice to dig up potatoes is actually a pitchfork. That's not my husband's tool of choice, but it works pretty good. I'll show you here in just a second what I'm doing. We have gotten some really nice sized potatoes. I have like half of them in the house already. And then I have a few. Abby, get out of the garden. Abby and the lovely goat. She's just eating weeds, so she can keep eating them. I don't care. But we dug these out last night. Like I said, they're all in the house. Getting some decent size. Like these are not big. I was hoping that we get bigger ones. I do have some bigger ones in the house, but I mean, that's not an awful sized potato. What I am going to show you is that, well, we get decent sized potatoes. We also get some small potatoes. Those are great for a little, as a side dish without having to worry about mashing them or whatever. So we got smaller ones there that'll be good. But these little bad boys right here, I've historically left them in the ground just because they're annoying. You can't really eat them. I mean, you can, but there's not enough to worry about. So what I'm going to do this year is I'm going to keep these. I'm going to put them in a box and I'm going to forget about them and I'm going to let them root because there's nothing wrong with the potato. But, I mean, right there, that was in my hand. That was 4 more potato plants. So assuming every potato produces, approximately 8 to 10 potatoes, that's 28 to 30 potatoes. 28 to 40, 32 to 40. Wow. I really don't do math. But there's dead potatoes in here, dead potato plants in here that need dug up. Those back there. I have beets, but they're not quite ready yet. So I just thought I would share with you what I'm doing. I have my little hay pitchfork. I love this one. It's my height. I'm only 5'1". So that one works out really well for me. But I think I need to get a tripod for the camera because this one-handed stuff is difficult. Let's see if I'm going to find any. There's a couple. So what I normally do when I have both hands on the thing, I will come down in here then, and there's, like I said, they're little, but food is food is food, so I'm not going to be upset about that. Oh, there's a nice sized one. See? So these other ones, they make a great little salt potato. They'll do real good. So we will have some food. I did, and I don't have it with me right now, I did dig up some potatoes yesterday that were halfway eaten, and while they were underground, I don't know what does that. I've not seen any grubs. I did see one little beetle bug worm thing yesterday. It was like that long and brown. I have no idea what it was. I don't know if that's what's doing it. The only thing that I've seen underground besides that is one cricket. But I had probably 8 decent-sized potatoes that were literally chewed in half. So those I'm going to either give to the pigs, or I'm going to cut off what's been eaten. And, you know, so that the rest of it is decent. There's nothing wrong with the other half of it. I'll wash them real good. I'll cut off what's been chewed up. And we'll probably have those for dinner tonight. Other than that, not doing a whole lot over here. Like I said, I still have some potatoes that are flowering. That little guy's up recently. That's a russet. These are russets. These first 2 rows are russets. They didn't do a whole lot. But, I mean, that's a nice looking plant. So is that one. I'm going to let them go. You can see the little cabbage plants back there. I've just given up on those. I can't. We tore down the rest of the fence this morning, so the goat is in. And it is whatever. I'll go to the farmer's market, support the locals, farmers, buy me some cabbage heads, and make my sauerkraut. It's not really that big of an issue. So, oh, a couple weeks ago we went to an auction, and Joe bought rabbits. They were $2 a piece. They're just little meat rabbits. They won't stay in their pen. There's one over there. These are the 2 girls. There's one little boy running around, and not overly upset about it. I'm not going to do a whole lot about it. They're eating real good right now. I've been pulling weeds and whatnot. You can see I got some squash going on down in here. I'm about squashed out. I'm probably going to, I have a whole counter full. I'll probably dill preserve those. Make like dill pickle chips with those. But I need to do some research. You can see my squash plants have the must on them. And I'm not exactly sure what to do. I believe I can sprinkle diatomaceous earth around them or on them. Again, I'm not overly worried about it because for me, the squash is about done. Anything we get at this point is going to be pig feed. The bunny on the run because there's a puppy over there. I don't know if you can see some of my pea plants. My second planting of peas are coming up. Some of them, you can see little white spots down in there. Right there. You know, some of them surfaced again. And that's what I usually end up having happen with peas is they resurface. Here's a handsome little cucumber. A couple of them actually. That's a perfect little gherkin right there. They're not gherkin brand, but I did pull out all of my pepper plants yesterday. I got all the rest of the peppers off of them, so I just pulled them out. I like to do a chop and drop, unless I have to feed them to rabbits or whatever. But when I do weed, I just throw the weeds right down. It becomes compost. These are my late planted zucchinis. As you can see, they are going crazy. So we're going to have zucchinis out the ears here real soon. I actually picked 3 last night that weren't there the night before. So that's exciting. And I picked a few tomatoes this morning. Look at the size of this one. Now that one's got a little bit of a split in it. It actually looks like it may have been 2 at one point. I picked some of the ones that were starting to ripen this morning because I'd rather let them counter ripen than to lose out on them altogether. Look at that. That's a nice sized tomato. We are zone 5, A/B. We're right on the cusp. And so our harvest season is just now coming into play. I also pulled out where the rabbit's eating. She is actually eating the downed green bean plants. I pulled them yesterday, got the rest of them off and pulled them. So, said, not really hurting a whole lot of anything. I woke up this morning to, the heck is that? No, it's just a leaf. I saw the red, I didn't know what it was. I woke up this morning to the cows being up here. 2 of our cows had gotten out and came up and they were eating, chomping away. And I'm yelling at the dog thinking that he's doing something bad. It wasn't the dog. I look out the window and there's the cow. I stayed in the camper last night. Our female mastiff, our mama mastiff, is coming out of heat. So for the last 10, 15 days, we've been doing everything we can to keep her and our male apart. So I went back to trusty old fifth wheel camper last night, and I actually took him with me instead of her. She's been solitary confinement for a while, so I thought I would just keep him with me and give her a break and let her be comfortable like she normally is. So I think that's about it. My one little sunflower's over there. This corn right here, we planted 100 seeds, and this is what came up. This is it, out of 100. Yeah. So we have a couple little ears growing. I wish we would have had more, because I'm actually super excited about this. There's a little baby stalk. There's a decent ear. But what we've decided to do is we're just going to keep these for seeds and dry them out and work on that for next year. I have one sunflower. I planted 25 of them. No, 50 of them, excuse me. And one came up. It should be getting to the point, as you see all the petals are dying. Yeah, this is getting to the point I can cut that head off here soon and go ahead and harvest those seeds, let them dry out. They'll turn, right now they're kind of like a light brown color. They'll turn the black that you normally see, like when you buy them. They can be roasted and whatever. So I'll get that cut off today. And the rest of my day consists of finishing digging up potatoes. I'll check on the beets to see if they're ready to go, which I don't think they are. I have not had great success growing beets in a long time, but I keep trying because maybe eventually I'll get it figured out. Look at this tomato. It looks funny. But I've actually picked a number of these tomatoes and just eaten them green. Well, not eating them. I don't eat them raw, but cook them, throw them into a dish. I fried them. I fried one day to put on potatoes, or on a, sorry, I have potatoes on the brain. I put them on a hamburger, and they were phenomenal. So I got super excited about that. If these tomatoes don't blush soon, I may end up just harvesting them as is and figuring out what to do with green tomatoes. Ziva, come here, girl. Ziva, out. Come here. Good girl, come here. Come here and say hi. Come here. And there's Abby walking up back there. I have the electric fence turned off right now because I got tired of having to step over it. This is Ziva. She's one of our pups. She turned, well, all the pups turned 6 months on the 14th. And here comes Abby. Say hi. Abigail. We like NCIS. So before we bought the property, we only had Rusty, our male. And Joe said that was the only dog breed that we were ever going to have again. He doesn't like the Border Collie because they're too hyper. We have Ringo. He's Border Collie Blue Heeler mix. And he is hyper. But that's okay. I mean, he does his job. He's the best behaved dog that we have. He just barks. And then we have Steel, who's a rescued pit bull. He's fantastic. He's an old man. Doesn't do anything anymore. But we fell in love with the Mastiff breed. So when Joe promised or said that we weren't going to have anything but Mastiffs anymore, he said if and when we ever were able to buy property, we could have the entire cast of NCIS in Mastiffs. We bought Rosie so that we could breed them. And when they had their pups, 3 girls did not sell. So, I don't know. Everybody was interested in males right now. Nobody wants to deal with the Menses cycle, I guess, is what it is. I don't honestly know why, because it used to be nobody wanted the boys because they'd mark or whatever. But we got, in air quotes, we got stuck with 3 females. That they are Abby, Ellie, and Ziva. Abby's a wild card. Her name's Abby Trouble because she's just full of herself. Ziva's a snuggler. Ellie's real super laid back. So it kind of works out really well. They're amazing dogs. We will eventually breed them to other males. We've had requests to breed one of them to Rottie and one to a golden retriever. And I don't know, maybe a shepherd. I don't know if we're actually going to do all that. That's the thoughts at this point. The girls are only 6 months old. I've got another 18 months to consider what we want to do. And then, of course, we will rebreed Rusty and Rosie. So we'll have another round of gorgeous pups from them. Switching gears back to the other conversation. In the house, I have a table full of yellow squash, summer squash. I have a bag of apples I still have to work on. What did I get last night? Just enough green beans left to have dinner, and a couple of potatoes that I'll make with dinner, and peppers. I picked the rest of the green peppers, so I will cut them up and get them canned today too. I am trying really hard this year to not freeze anything. I don't want to be reliant on the electric. Our freezer's out at the neighbor's property, and I don't like that. So, I mean, he's been super fantastic about everything. I just don't like depending on other people. I would like to keep it all right here. Our solar, we need to increase our solar for the winter tremendously. We need bigger batteries. We need more deep cycle batteries or actual solar batteries. Joe knows more about that stuff than I do. He's the one that's done all those researches. I keep it pretty much to gardening and animals and food prep for my research, and he handles his mechanical stuff. That's works better for our brains and our happiness. So yeah, I got some more food prep to do. I did 75 ears of corn. We shucked them day before yesterday. Yesterday I canned them all. I got 9 quarts and 9 pints. So that'll go on the shelf today after I get the jars washed down. I made, I think, 7.5 pints plus a 4-ounce jar of hot sauce. I had bought some what was supposed to be sweet banana peppers. They weren't sweet, so I took them and some old dehydrated jalapenos that I had and some other dehydrated pepper mixes that I had and made those, threw a couple green tomatoes in it and a cucumber, and I don't remember what else I put in it, and I made a really good hot sauce. So I got those canned up, and I had half a watermelon left, so I cooked that down and made a little bit of, it's supposed to be jelly. It didn't set because I didn't have any pectin, so I was just doing the sugar. I didn't let it cook down enough, I guess. It was still thin this morning, but that's okay because I will use that in, it's about the consistency of an applesauce, so I'll just use that in maybe a bread or some kind of baking, or use it as a glaze, a sweet glaze for chicken, or a marinade, mix it with some oil and throw some other some spices into it to make it a savory, sweet and savory. And we'll do that. So even though it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, it won't go to waste. I try really, really hard not to waste anything. What we actually cannot eat goes to the pigs. The goat gets a little bit. She doesn't eat a whole lot. She's just a little tiny thing, and she's the only one we have right now. Yeah, I'm talking about you. She's over here watching me. Willow. So, I had somebody say something about Joe's not in the pictures very much. No, he's not, and he probably won't be. At some point in time, when he's more than likely not too aware of what I'm doing, I'll get a video of him. I'll get him in. Maybe I'll get him talking about the solar or something. He doesn't like the camera. He's awkward and uncomfortable with it. He used to have an automotive shop, and local news station was a client, and they would want to use him to do exposés on winter maintenance or this, that, or the other thing for news stories, and he would always decline. Or if he didn't decline, he would just give them the information in an interview and let them relay it. He did not want to be on camera. So I don't think that's really changed. He's around. He's here every day. Well, he's here every day. He does work 3 days a week right now, so he's out at his job. That's when it's quiet. That's when I'm out doing my stuff. and that's when I do the majority of the videos. So right now, I think I'm going to, before it rains, I think I'm going to sign off of here, and I'm going to go back to digging some potatoes. And when it starts raining, then I'll get in the house and do some more canning. Again, my name's Annette. This is Our Way Farm. It's just a little homestead that we're just getting started at, building from raw land up to self-sustaining. That is 100% our goal. We're working toward it. Every day is another step closer. We recycle, we reuse, and repurpose. Try to keep our costs down, and we're, living a healthy, natural life. So we are off-grid. We have some solar. He got the gutter up on the house, so we are in business for rain collection. So when it rains, we get really excited because our water tank is refilling. Other than that, we are still working on building our house and getting it finished, and we're living in it as we're doing it. So it's slow and steady. We started out in a camper about 18 months ago, probably a little bit longer than that. And it's this camper right here behind us. And it's seriously overgrown with weeds. But that's because when I moved out, I didn't really go back in. So I'm not maintaining that right now. That camper will end up getting gutted and become a hay trailer for us. So, and when that gets pulled out of here, my garden will expand by probably another 20 feet. So that's exciting. I'm going to get off of here. It was nice talking to you guys. I hope you all have a great day. Hit the like button, subscribe, follow what we're doing, and hit the little bell so you get notifications. We'd really appreciate the help and the support from YouTube. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.